I probably lived about 20 years of my life in the family business, just basically being a puppet of my parents. I didn't know that we were actually rich until maybe I was in my mid-20s. Sometimes they just think about buying a house and they just sign a check and they buy it, or they want to buy a car and they pay in cash, I didn't understand what leasing was until I was in university. If you told me that it's not fun to be in a private jet, I'd be lying. If someone asked you, hey man, you want to fly my private jet? I'm like, sure dude, why not? I also thought it's why is it that they have a 7 Series BMW and a 5 Series and a 3 Series? Why don't you just buy the best? It's why bother with something cheap? That took a while for me to understand, to be honest with you. I went to Stanford and I grew up in a lot of very good schools in San Francisco. But when I went back to Indonesia and I want to understand people, just the way that you want to interview me in Indonesian and I can't. I probably lived about 20 years of my life in the family business, just basically being a puppet of my parents. And a lot of people probably look at me and say hey, I'm really lucky, I'm born into a rich family. I could have whatever I want, and my family is very influential, so I should have it good. All the doors should be open to me. I should be happy. I should be lucky. The part that really made me feel sad was I wasn't happy. And and I can't talk to anybody about it, because if I talk to anybody, they say, hey, you should be happy, because look at you compared to everyone else. One of the things that's hard about being in a family that has, a lot of status and power is that you can't really talk to anybody, because you're told that you have to be careful. You can't. It's lonely, actually, being in this position. And as I talk to other peers in different families, of similar background, I know many who feel the same way. It's a common thing. It's not just something to do with me. And my parents worked really late hours, and so I was often in the office until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 5 o'clock in the morning. Nothing I did felt was right in front of their eyes. I started having lots of personal problems, and my health was failing. My doctor said I had a liver problem. They said that if I continued that way, I'm going to get cirrhosis and get cancer. And so that was a really, really low point in my life. I was working in a job where every 2 weeks I would get sick. And I think it was just my body telling me I don't want to do this. And so I left the company. I didn't even bum it. I just disappeared. I just became the coward. I didn't resign. I just stayed at home and didn't show up. And I spent the first 2 weeks just cleaning up my living room and turning it into a music studio. And my hope was that some people would come in and benefit from using the equipment. And I wanted just to be nice to people, because I was sick of being told to be tough. And I was never good at being tough. And I wanted to do it in music. And that was really the only thing that I knew I wanted to do. And I knew that music makes me happy. That was the first time in my life that I really didn't know what was going to happen next. That was the beginning of when I got better. I was always listening to my parents in my mind. I was listening to my logic. Now I listen to the quiet voice. But it's a very soft voice. It never screams. It's a quiet voice.
Suara hati itu dia berdiri sendiri dan dia ngeluruk tanpa bolong. Dia nggak punya rombongan. Nggak ada rombongan cemburu, nggak ada rombongan si takut, nggak ada rombongan khawatir, nggak ada.
Stop. Just look at the mess you've made.
Dan suara hati ini selalu tepat. Jawaban dari alam semesta yang murni, yang tidak difilter dengan pikiran kita.
3 years of faith with my heart, but I know now that there's a chance that I could make a living from that. And that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't listening to my heart and recognizing that if I do, then for sure miracles happen. Very clear. And then my parents, they don't say anything and suddenly they show up at the concert. Within 3 years, our team won 3 Emmy Awards. We won Best Pop Album. We won Best Jazz Album. We won Best of the Best.